We gotta go. I'll get my car. I brought mine. Yours. I gotta get me one of those.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bat Dance Discussions. We have a really exciting show today. I'm going to say a bittersweet show. Well, one, because of what we're going to start out with, but also with the main topic. It's kind of bittersweet news, actually. And, well, we'll explain why. But, a lot to talk about. So please welcome as I bring on Kozy. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, we have a lot of people in the chat right now. We got DC Talk, W Mir, J-Mo.
What's up, man?
Oh, well, we're doing fine.
What's up, J-Mo?
But as we said, we got a bittersweet show today. And, well, first off, we're going to get right to it. We're going to start with kind of some sad news that actually came out today. So, today we lost an actress at age 35 years old. Daveigh Chase. I hope I pronounced her name right. She was Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, which is a huge part of my childhood. And The Ring, which I will admit I have not seen.
You haven't seen The Ring?
No.
Oh my god, bro! You gotta see The Ring, man.
I'll see. I'll try to see it, especially as a tribute to Chase. But
what's up, Frank C?
Like, how did you feel when you first saw this news about Daveigh Chase?
Dog, it like the little kid in me was sad, man. Like, I watched Lilo and Stitch so many times, man, and it's just like, damn, like the voice actress for Lilo is gone, and that's crazy, man.
Yeah, well, it's because it's not just the movie, the first movie she did. She also did Stitch the movie, which was
Hmm.
the backdoor pilot for Lilo and Stitch the series, which she also did, and
Yeah.
Leroy and Stitch. She did all the animated stuff except for Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch Has a Glitch. She had some scheduling conflict that she couldn't do Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch Has a Glitch, but she did everything else and the English stuff for what's Spirited Away.
She did English. She did the English stuff for Spirited Away.
I've never heard
Yo,
of
nah,
that
she's
show.
man. It's a animated movie.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out
Yeah,
too. Add,
or I
add it
should
to my
say anime
list.
movie. But yeah, yeah, it's a good movie. You should definitely check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just so like heartbreaking to see like so she died of a, I guess it was a, hold on, let me see, she was diagnosed with meningitis and several serious blood infections, and then her condition became critical, and she was actually warned ahead of time by doctors that she may not have much time left, or that, yeah, they said may. So this right here, like Lilo and Stitch, I feel like is a movie that really stands out from the rest. Like, one is it's a very unique dynamic with family, because most Disney movies, well, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of them, it feels like the mom, it's always the mom is dead and it's a single father. But this is a very unique dynamic where you actually have the older sister acting as the guardian and trying to.
Yeah,
It's a very sympathetic story, because she's like, and presumably Nani is 18 or 19, but like an age where she would be in college, where she's an adult, but like, let's be honest, you're still a kid in a lot of ways at that age, and she already is responsible for her sister, because Lilo, I mean, I don't know if they have officially diagnosed her, but I think she has some form of autism, and it's hard to be separated from your only family. And she doesn't like understand a lot of what she's doing, like making it worse in a lot of ways, but she's a kid, she doesn't understand. And
hmm
it's such an interesting dynamic, and one that doesn't, not that I hate musicals, not that I hate all musicals, but they don't rely on a musical like a lot of these Disney movies, like would have Nani breaking out on the song, and it's just a little unique, honestly.
yeah. Like I'm not against musicals, and I'm not against the musical aspect to Disney films, but this was like one of the very few where I'm like, yes, they're not singing, and the songs they choose is like they actually got people. What's the Samoan people to actually sing the soundtrack, and it's just like, yo, like I don't know, even the songs just hit different. Like that whole song when they're like surfboarding, I'm like, yo, I'm like, yeah, yeah. This they were cooking with that movie. Like, I'm sad that she's like out of here, bro. That's
And do you know what Lilo actually means in English?
Polynesian culture. Thank you, Jamar.
It means lost, and Stitch means, I thought it meant found, but it refers to a single loop of thread using and sewing. Basically, it means fixing. So essentially, like, Lilo's lost because she doesn't have her family, and Stitch essentially is fixing that, like providing her a new family, a new Ohana.
Yeah, yeah. I'll stick to the animated series and movie. Yeah, I haven't seen.
Yeah,
I have not seen the live action, but I
I
yeah.
lost I lost interest when I heard that Gantu wasn't in it and they made Jumba the bad guy. I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
nope. But I will say they can retroactively actively make that movie better, because they're doing a Lilo and Stitch 2. It's going to be an original story, and it's going to be written and directed by Stitch, by the who he's the creator of Lilo and Stitch. It's going to be written and directed by him, and he's also the voice of Stitch. Like, he's the voice of Stitch in the animated movies, and he reprised his role for the live action movie. So I'm hoping that maybe they can Yago Jumba in the second movie and add Gantu in it. And like, do you know what I mean when I say Yago Jumba?
Nah.
Did you ever watch Aladdin?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the sequel Return of Jafar?
Yeah.
So like basically how they make Yago a good guy in the second movie, they turn him a villain.
Okay. That's what you
So
mean by that, yeah.
I'm hoping they can bring Gantu in it. Like maybe now that this movie did well in the box office, maybe they can afford a little bit better VFX for the sequel, or at the very least, bring in Dr. Hamsterville and then kind of give Jumba a redemption arc. And in a way, they can kind of, instead of like reducing Jumba's like redemption arc, they can in a way expand it, essentially retroactively making the first movie, in which granted I have not seen, so I shouldn't completely say, but kind of like retroactively fixing some of the issues with Jumba's character.
I don't know. Maybe one day I might give the live action a chance, but I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm like the animated movies. Just feel like it was just enough for me. I don't know. To me, I'm like, why do we need all these live action versions of these animated films? Like, I feel like there's certain stuff that just doesn't need a live action.
Well,
but that's just me. Yeah, I understand it's money. I'm just saying that's just me though. Like, I get it. There were certain live action films that worked, like the Alice in Wonderland movies. I love those live action films. I think Beauty. I didn't see Beauty and the Beast, but I heard Beauty and the Beast, and I want to say Cinderella did good.
I liked Aladdin.
Yeah,
I thought the Aladdin one was pretty good.
But the thing is like you're gonna do all these live actions, like turn these animated stuff to live action. Why haven't you touched Atlantis: The Lost Empire or my favorite Treasure Planet? Like, you could, if you really want to get the big bucks, those are two movies you could do live action that would work. But that's just me.
I agree. But one thing Lilo and Stitch doesn't get enough credit for, like, did you watch the animated series? Like Lilo and Stitch, the series?
Yeah.
One thing it doesn't get a lot of credit for is they actually did a shared universe before. Well, I mean, I guess technically DC and Marvel have, but like in like media before Disney and Marvel did, because I don't know if you remember, but Lilo and Stitch had a lot of crossover episodes. They crossed over with American Dragon, Proud Family, Kim Possible, and Recess, which I watched Kim Possible and Recess, but I never watched the other two shows. But still, the fact that they put all those, essentially 5 shows in a shared universe.
Yeah. That means they all exist in the same universe for each other. Hercules and Aladdin. Hercules and Aladdin.
Yep. Oh, I remember that. Although the Hercules series is non-canon since Hades knows about Hercules, despite the fact of when the series takes place, he's supposed to think Hercules is dead. So it's a crossover, but unfortunately, the Hercules series is non-canon because they wanted Hades in it. But I did see that. That was cool. I did like that one. And, I mean, live action. I mean, they call it live action, but, like, they didn't have a single live action character in that movie. But, I mean, I don't know. It's like one thing that gets me with the live action Lion King is that when you go, like, because, like, the one actor who reprised his role, James Earl Jones, that's good and bad in a lot of ways. Like, it's good because it's James Earl Jones, but it's bad because you can compare, because now, like, the lines, there's a lot more scrutiny, because there's, like, some YouTube videos where you see his delivery in the animated movie and see his delivery in the live action.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds better in the animated movie. Like, it sounded a lot better in the animated movie, and it was probably actually one of the last movies James Earl Jones did. But
like I said, all I'm going to say is, like I said, there's just certain animated films that do not need to translate to live action. That's all I'm going to say on that. But glad that everybody else enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm glad for the people, and I did enjoy it when I saw it in theaters. But and another thing I really like about the Lilo and Stitch movie is that it shows like how like Ohana, how like anything can be family. Like the fact that, look at Stitch. Stitch starts out as this destructive monster who tears
Mhm.
apart everything he touches. Let's be honest, he only hides with Lilo at first for shelter so that Jumba and Pleakley won't kill him because he's basically using Lilo as a shield. But then it was like through Lilo's love that that this unlikely pair became family. And it's such
Mhm.
a real powerful message that even at first when Lilo's mad at Stitch when her house is destroyed and she's being taken away, she has an initial reaction like, go away, I don't want to see you anymore. But then despite that, Stitch still goes after her when Gantu has her captured. And it's such a great message. And like essentially Jumba too. Like Jumba, an evil genius, becomes a good guy. Like he becomes family too. It's such a great it just shows the power of Ohana, the power of family. And I've learned so like I've actually, to be honest, most of my knowledge about Hawaiian culture comes from Lilo and Stitch.
Same. I don't. Yeah, that's the most I have from that.
Not needed, but
I
I
mean,
guess
if it
but they're gonna do it. They have to do it. But also, since I didn't see The Ring, what was your thoughts on Daveigh Chase's character in The Ring? Like what
scary, man. She literally plays the ring girl, or I say the ring girl, but you know what I mean. Like she plays
like
like
a child possessed by a demon, basically?
yeah, like she did her thing. Like obviously it's like the music added in, visual effects and all that, but it
Oh, child actors are very hit or miss for me, honestly, because like they're child
not with
actors,
this
right? I
one.
mean,
Not I'm telling you, not with this one. I get what you're saying because there is certain horror movies where the child being scary doesn't work out, but this, yeah, no, she did her thing with that. I don't know
so
if Bad Dance can handle the Japanese version. I'm not saying that as like a slight to you, but like Japanese when they do their horror, it's way different than what we do here in America. Like they go for like the creepy, scary, grotesque. Where we're like, if you like to put it like this, we pull back our punches when it comes to horror in Japan. They full on. They'll put brass knuckles in sock you type of scary.
is there an English dub or at least English subtitles though? Because I don't know Japanese.
I think there should be I think there should be an English sub version of the Japanese version.
I prefer dub because I don't have to read, but I'll take sub if I
I don't know
have
if there's I don't know if there's a dub. So that's why yeah, but
But overall, is there anything else you want to say about Daveigh Chase?
no, all I'll say is R.I.P, and I hope her family are doing good, and I have them in my prayers and all that, and hope they heal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a lesson to show, don't take life for granted. Don't take I mean, she was 35 years old. 35. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's 3 years older than me. About 3.5 years older, maybe about 4.5. But no, it would be 3.5, probably closer to that than 4.5. But still, it's just it's hard. It's a lesson to not take life for granted and live your life now. Do stuff you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
because so, and I just want to thank Daveigh Chase for being such a big part of my childhood. I love Lilo and Stitch as a kid. Such a huge
Same.
part. A lot of great stories in the movie, the series, and just thank you, Daveigh Chase. And like I said, my condolences to your family, your boyfriend. Rest in peace. And I just want to read this comment real quick. And of I've never seen that movie. Do you know what that movie is?
I think he's talking about the ring. I think that's
Oh,
the
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, Bad Dan hasn't seen either versions of the Ring.
The only Ring I've seen is the episode Bob's Burgers, where they call it the Ring, and in parentheses it says "but not scary." So, but anyways, thank you, Daveigh Chase, and now I just want to give a moment of silence real quick. Thank you, Daveigh Chase. Thank you. And now let's move on to some, well, I would say compared to that, anything's happier news. So Lionsgate turns down Netflix. So yeah,
It's not,
basically like
no,
within in a
it's the other way around. Netflix turns down Lionsgate.
yeah, that's what I meant to say. I know I said Lionsgate turns down Netflix, and I meant to say Netflix turns down Lionsgate. So yeah, Sin Havoc. I know, Sin Havoc, but I did see Lilo and Stitch, which is like the main thing she was known for. But anyways, so within a day, we get this news of Netflix interested in buying Lionsgate. And then the next, like within a day, it's like, oh, nope, we're not interested. We're not interested. So I'm just going to share this article real quick. So, well, I have a couple theories on that actually. But, oh, wrong one. Here we go. Share screen. So Netflix denies report that it's eyeing Lionsgate acquisition. So, jeez, I've got to hate these ads. And I can't get rid of this ad. Okay.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Netflix is denying a report. I know. Netflix is denying a report that is interested in buying Lionsgate, the movie studio behind John Wick and Hunger's game franchises, after purposely lost out on acquiring streaming giant Roku to Fox Corp. Semi4 reported Tuesday that Netflix is one of the I can't even talk. One of a number of media companies eyeing Lionsgate.
Was it this one or never mind? Continue, Bad Dan. I'm thinking of something else. I read some article where they messed up in their typing, and I'm like, y'all are supposed to be a professional news outlet. How are you messing up in your own articles? But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, anyway. The Los Gatos, California-based firm has put in a formal indication of interest. Yet. Shares of Lionsgate jumped to nearly 11% in midday trading. But the streaming giant denied any such interest in the post. Netflix is not interested and is not pursuing Lionsgate, a rep said. To date, Netflix is home to Stranger Things, Bridgerton, and The Crown, and has preferred to grow from within rather than expand through large acquisitions. So I have two theories about what this could mean.
Mm-hmm.
And what up, TJ? So theory one, I think it means they're still interested in Warner Brothers and they're waiting for this Paramount deal to crash, or they're interested in getting Lionsgate because they lost Warner Brothers and they're trying. And again, like with Warner Brothers, when they initially were going to buy it, they downplay their interest because it's a better negotiating tactic. So, of these two theories I have, Kozy, which one do you think is more likely?
I would say the second one. Well, I feel like it's kind of a mix of both, in my opinion. Like it's a little bit mix of both, but if I had to choose one, I would say the second one, just because, like you said, they did it before with the whole bidding with Warner Bros. Oh, we're not interested. No. And then now they're like, hey, you know what? Let me put some money in on this, right? So I think it's the same thing with this, and I even said it. I think I said it in my space or whatever. But like, I think this is a way of Netflix getting their name more into the marketplace to, get more eyes on them for to see who's wanting to do business with them. And then I think also, and I didn't say this, but I'm thinking it now, and I think it's maybe also Lionsgate trying to get good looks from other people too, if not just from Netflix. So, yeah, I think it's a I don't know what the word would be for it, but Netflix might be in the running for multiple companies. Yeah, I agree. I agree on
Oh yeah,
that.
absolutely. I mean, like, here's the way I'll put it. My heart says they still want Warner Brothers, and that's why they're not interested in Lionsgate. But my brain
Hmm.
says that they're going for Lionsgate because Paramount is getting Warner Brothers as it stands right now.
Hmm.
And IMAX, Lionsgate, Sony. Oh, damn. But, oh, yep. That'd be another studio for them or filming location. That would be a lot for Netflix. That would be a lot for Netflix. I'll say that. But it's hard for me because, like, again, like my brain, this is a smart play for Netflix. They couldn't get Warner Brothers, so getting Lionsgate to get their theatrical arm is a smart play. It is probably a really smart play for them. So I
Yeah.
have to, if Netflix is doing that, I give them credit. But my heart is like, no, this Paramount deal is gonna fail. This, like, again, my heart is saying this, guys. This Paramount deal is gonna fail. It's gonna fail, and Netflix is gonna scoop right back up and get Warner Brothers, and we're gonna get the Snyderverse on Netflix within a year. That is what my heart is saying, and then my heart is saying that's why they need to turn out Lionsgate. But I just, like, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I hope they're not really going. I mean, I say it, I not what I think, what I hope for. I hope they're not really going for it because I really am hoping that this Paramount deal is about to fail, and despite the DOJ, but that this Paramount deal is about to get blocked, and Netflix is going to scoop right up and get it. But I don't know. Any thoughts about what I just said to that, Kozy?
I mean, I feel the same way as you. Like, I really feel like they're. That's why I said I feel like it's a mix of both. It's them, being like, no, we're not actually interested, and they could really be interested in Lionsgate, but I think I think they're waiting to see how all this plays out before making the final big business decision of getting another studio. Um, because this, they could end up getting Lionsgate and then WB a week. Let's just say, and I know this is not realistic, but in this hypothetical, they decide to get Lionsgate tomorrow. But news of, oh, they're blocking the merger for Paramount and it's WB is open for another bid is happening the following week. Now it's just like, dang, like instead of waiting, we should have just waited instead of just going and being like, yeah, we want this. So I think the smart thing they're doing is going around having meetings and potential, business decisions of, hey, yeah, we might be interested in, if not buying your company or whatever, doing business with your company. So that leaves that open to watch how this whole merger with Paramount plays out. So they because Netflix, how they're moving strategic. So it for me, and this is, guys, it's just me theorizing and all that, but from just seeing how Netflix moves, I think that's how they're moving with this. Of like, all right, let me keep my eyes on Paramount and see how this plays out. If they get blocked, we can come in, get WB like we should have. Or if they get it, all right, we can still do these business deals and buy some of these companies and wait out when Paramount fails and come in anyways and get what we want. So that's just my thoughts. But
I mean, honestly, you're probably right about that, Kozy, because they probably, like you said, Netflix is prepared for all eventualities. Like, I still think that if it came down to it, and Netflix was able to get either Warner Brothers or Lionsgate right now, I think they would choose Warner Brothers because that has the more valuable IP. And I think they could absolutely be doing that. And in some ways, it's a smart play because if they are pursuing Lionsgate, and let's say the deal fails with Warner Brothers, it makes Warner Brothers even less valuable to Netflix per like the shareholders. It gives Netflix the advantage because they're like, well, do I want Warner Brothers for this money? Because now, I mean, I got this Lionsgate is looking like a pretty good deal. I mean, especially because if they're like, well, we just really wanted a theatrical arm. I mean, why should we buy this more expensive company, this more expensive studio when we have this one right here? It gives them a better negotiating power. So
Kozy Sony would give Netflix Turek and Valiant Comics. Ooh,
where are you reading?
They don't. It's above. If you keep going up to, it's Sin Havoc's 7. One more up. Yeah.
One.
I'm not gonna lie. If somehow for some reason Netflix can't get WB and DC, I think Valiant Comics might be their superhero IP they're looking for. So that's really interesting, especially how whoever gets Sony means that Spider-Man rights will automatically revert back to Marvel Studios.
Yeah, because that was a part of the agreement, which I mean, that's still like kind of a mixed thing though, because if they lose that, that's like one of Sony's most valuable IPs. But I don't know. I would kind of like to see Spider-Man back with the rest of Marvel though, so we can actually get Spider-Man in these, so we could get him in freaking Daredevil. But I like what Frank C says here though. So Netflix is said to be in coordination with blocking the merger. They're waiting this out, which that's a good point. Like, I mean, I've theorized that despite what Netflix is saying, they likely are in coordination of trying to block this merger. So, but again, if you're Netflix, you got to be smart. You don't want to have a plan A and then after plan A we're done. We want to have a plan B and a C and a D because remember, the difference between Netflix and Paramount is that Netflix is always strategic, whereas Paramount was about ego. Because I still think that if Paramount does end up getting WB, this will be bad for Paramount over in the long run. Because yes, they'll have some new IPs, but they'll be in so much debt that they won't be able to do anything with it. So whereas like to the point, like if David Ellison could have gotten it for a cheaper price, maybe it would have been valuable, but it wasn't worth the amount of money that they had, because I still said Paramount can't afford WB, and I still stand with that. They can't afford this, and it's gonna. But they're not strategic. Netflix was. Netflix could have afforded to bid more money. They could have easily afforded to like pay literally $1 more per share. No problem.
Yeah, but they didn't want to because they know business wise, why am I going to pay more money for WB than it's worth? Because WB is, like I said, it's already in debt. You're selling the company. Going past what we deem as a good price to buy WB, and Paramount's the one pushing higher. Nah, bro, I'm not going to try to match Paramount because both of y'all got debt, but you're the one selling off the studio that's causing this bid anyways. So that in itself is like, yeah, y'all got some good IPs, and the price they had, it was really a good price to go for, but y'all are already in debt. If we got you, we would have paid the debt off. So really, it's really actually a good, in my opinion, a good agreement, because I'm paying off the debt, not adding on debt, and the price I have is still good enough to buy WB. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, paying more money to somebody who owes money to somebody else, and you have the money to pay it off. And I'm like, why am I going to pay this extra money to get this? Nah, like, I'm not going to put myself in debt trying to get y'all when y'all are already in debt being sold off. No, like, that's a bad business moves. Also, can you highlight Jamar's the 730?
730.
Yeah. Because he said, should Netflix get Lionsgate, that would mean they would be able to buy WB in 2 years, or they won't be able to
Yeah.
buy WB in 2 years. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. That's why, I'm just using Jamar's thing of what we're saying of to reiterate. That's why I'm saying they're waiting to see how this plays out. They don't want to make a decision already. They don't want to make a quick, hasty decision, like I said, and then they find out, oh, the merger gets blocked. Oh, dang, now we can't scoop up WB now because we already made the decision of Lionsgate. So it's already smart that they're waiting this out, see how this plays, and still having their options open for other stuff. That's how I think Paramount should be moving, but they can't. So that's how Netflix is moving. They're having meetings, talking with other CEOs about their companies and seeing where they can either work together as a partnership, or if they're able to buy their stuff, especially they're already like Sin Havoc, let's say buying real estate. So they're buying real estate. So so that's why, they're waiting to see how this plays out. So they if this doesn't go through, they can be like, hey, we got the money right here, ready. Give us WB. And then, if somebody still doesn't end up buying Lionsgate past the 2 years, they can get Lionsgate or whatever. But yeah.
And it's exactly what we're talking about strategy, because with Warner Brothers not want to pay all this money, Lionsgate, let's be honest, is a lot cheaper than Warner Brothers. Like, again, I don't know Lionsgate's debt count, but let's be honest, IP wise, Lionsgate has nothing with Warner Brothers, so Netflix can get it for a much better deal. And if essentially, as they touted, their main interest is the theatrical arm, they have that theatrical arm. So like some of the stuff I was talking about with the Curly Ray, or AKA Rebel Moon theory, like they could essentially make Rebel Moon the studio cuts Lionsgate movies, and then make the director's cuts the Netflix exclusives.
Yeah.
So as a way to give Rebel Moon that theatrical release. And and I kind of agree with what Jamar's saying, because again, let's be honest, if they get Lionsgate, they can't get Warner Brothers, because one, FTC, must have an issue with that. Well, granted, I don't know if I thought the deal. Personally, I think the DOJ, if they would have, Just World would have turned down this merger. But anyways, despite that, I definitely feel like Lionsgate and Warner Brothers. Well, one is, I don't think Netflix would want to pay money for both. Like, I have one theatrical studio. Why do I need another one right now? If you're Netflix, why do you need another one? It's not good business to do both.
Yeah.
So, like, I could see Sony and Lionsgate, because I don't think Sony at least provides a lot more value with PlayStation and other stuff, but they can split
the studio percentage ownership amongst their business. Yeah. Like I said, however they do their, what they agree on, regardless if it's like percentage of shares or whatever, however they do their deals. Yeah. The point being, they could have, they're having meetings and, talking about potential deals and all that, while they're keeping their eye on Paramount, just in case Paramount doesn't go through, they come in and get WB, because let's all be real. It's to even what Batman was saying. They want WB. Now they don't need it, like how we all been saying. They don't need WB, but they want WB. That WB has a lot, like you said, a lot more than I would say Sony and Lionsgate combined. But that doesn't work out. Sony, Lionsgate, boom. Now they have something to work with now. But
I just thought of something. Wouldn't it be funny if Paramount didn't get Warner Brothers and they got turned down by one of the attorney generals or the FTC or someone, but then they get Lionsgate while Netflix gets Warner Brothers?
That would be hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be hilarious. It'd be fuck for those IPs that is with Lionsgate, but that'd be hilarious, because it's like, dang. But
Well,
I was hoping for the whole split thing to happen. They still like Paramount gets there. Not saying it's still a good thing they would get this, but at least it wouldn't be a whole problem than two. Rather it being this big problem, it would be just one problem, which would be, hey, we give them, they get CNN and all that because that's clearly what they want, and then the theater TV portion of stuff goes to Netflix, but guess not.
and I have a theory though, actually, that could still happen. Like if let's say the FTC is or the Attorney Generals or someone's against this merger, because like for context, before I get into this, Warner Brothers is a much bigger studio than Lionsgate. So what I could see happening is that Warner Brothers sells off assets to Netflix, such as Warner Brothers Pictures, the HBO, and DC. Like the streaming and studio assets, well, it's going to be the streaming and studio assets, sell those off to Netflix, and then they not only does Paramount get what would have been Discovery Global, but also they get their additional movie studio from Lionsgate. So in a way, that wouldn't be that bad. The split. Oh no, I agree.
Yeah, but somebody want to be greedy and have everything. So,
well, I mean, I know, Frank. I know they want more, but hear me out. Because think about it like this: they still get CNN, they still get like all those assets, and they still get a movie theatrical studio. They still get that with Lionsgate. So it wouldn't be the worst deal in the world for Paramount, and it might be something they can afford a little bit more and wouldn't have to take all these loans. So, I mean, frankly, I know they want everything. I'm just saying that I still think something is better than nothing. And I think especially if they can get Lionsgate and Discovery Global Partners, that could still do a lot of good for Paramount. And they made
it clear. I don't want to say clear, but they've kind of like really hinted that they really want CNN and all that, and really David Olson tries to make it seem like he cares about movies, but he this whole deal doesn't come off as that. Like it comes off with it's more political, and you're wanting the CNN 60 Minutes and all that. So it's like you want that. So, but instead of that, he wants to be greedy and want everything, which it's gonna go bad for him in the short end of things, because you're instead of making the smart business move of like, all right, we're already in debt, we're gonna get more debt tackling all this on. We really just want CNN and that than these movies and IPs. Yeah, basically, David Olson wanted CNN more than anything. So it's like you wanted that.
And I'm trying to be careful how I say this, because I try to keep this channel apolitical, but let's be honest, there's unfortunately politics involved in this. So all I'm going to say with that is that I think that the politics at play that are helping that help get this merger approved, I think they care way more about the Discovery Global side than they do the streaming and studio side. And I'm still going to call these two sides, even though it's technically not happening that way anymore as it stands right now. But that's what I think. That's what I think might happen. Discovery Global Partners, and so he doesn't look like a total jackass or a total fool. He gets Lionsgate instead. So that's my theory. That's my theory about what's going to happen. Like what I call my heart theory, where it's like a mix of my brain and my heart. Because again, my brain and my heart say two different things here. But yeah, I still think it's really interesting what. I mean, yeah, I agree. But we'll kind of get more into like the Paramount side a little bit later on this. But I just think with Lionsgate, it's very interesting. But I think we both can agree they want Warner Brothers, but they're not completely turning down Lionsgate. They just, again, unlike Paramount, they're strategic. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. But and. Okay, let me take this down. StreamYard is so slow sometimes. Okay, there we are. Okay, so it's kind of, bittersweet news, honestly, because it kind of makes this bittersweet news. So, and we'll get into that why I'm saying it's bittersweet news later on, not in this particular topic, but we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't pull up the article again because we saw it last week, but well, maybe I might just if we want to recap the countries. I'm not going to show the whole thing because, or I just pulled it up on the last stream. I normally don't do topics again this quickly, but given a certain Instagram post we're going to cover next, I felt like it was relevant. But I guess, Kozy, when you first saw this article, what was your thoughts on seeing it?
I was happy, man. Like, I was like, bro, like I'm happy because they Netflix like gave us a good, idea because WB hit the numbers, the HBO Max numbers. So with this, it's like, all right, this is really showing that this movie, and we all knew this, but this, for the haters in the back who didn't want to believe it, it's like, all right, cool. This is a nice, good way of showing that this movie is a worldwide phenomenon. Like this film people fuck with. So I was happy. And then reading the countries and all that, I'm like, oh yeah. And it's in the top 10 and it's on Netflix. Like we've been saying, like I did like what we've been saying this whole time. You keep denying it. You can't deny it now. Zack posted, and we're going to get to that, I know, but Zack posted it. This is in the news. This movie is trending in 21 countries. So, yeah, but I'm gonna let you take over.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that just to recap the countries, New Caledonia is like where it was the most watched on Netflix in New Caledonia. And then it has become a streaming sensation in France, Greece, Norway, Nigeria, South Africa, Sweden, and more. So, you get Europe, you get Africa, you're getting like European and African countries. And it's obviously it's not on the Netflix chart, but the fact that it's doing so well in other countries on Netflix, because again, we're like this, because what I love about this is regardless of this not being in the United States, this gives Netflix the data directly. They're not getting it from a third party. They're not getting it from someone else. They're seeing how it performs on their own platform. Mm-hmm. They see that it's performing really well. 5 years later, it performs super well on Netflix. And, we'll kind of get into why, where the bittersweetness of this comes in. And again, I know people are saying, Bat Dan, why are you saying this is bittersweet? We'll get into why. But, I want to just recap this real quick. I don't think we need to go over this one too much because I already covered this with Curly Ray on Sunday. So now we're going to go to the Instagram post. And it's funny, normally I start with this topic and it's plural. Not this time. This time it's singular because we're only like 3 days after this last stream. But I thought it was good. I thought this was a good thing to share. So Zachary Edward Snyder. This is Zachary Edward Snyder himself clarifying more about this. So from Zack Snyder, the man himself, Zack Snyder's Justice League is currently trending worldwide, top 10 on Netflix in 21 countries, including France, Poland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Turkey, Bulgaria, Greece, Romania, Siberia, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, and more. Watch it on Netflix. And Sky himself sells ZSJL to Netflix, sells SnyderVerse to Netflix. Dark Side celebrating. You got Rebel Moon Theory. Just like Rebel Moon, ZSJL is trending on Netflix. Josh Herrera. And just like, hold on, or let me get back to this again. Just what was your thoughts on seeing this from the man himself?
I mean, I said it in my space. I called him. I'm like, you know, without calling people's names out, just like, yo, I said it on my space because people were real quiet when the news dropped. People were it was real quiet. It was almost quiet like I'm talking about like a library quiet, like or church quiet. Like I was like, yo, so only us over here are celebrating this. Nobody on that, you know, in the rest of the fandom is saying anything like this. And I said in my space, watch. When Zack posts about this, they're gonna say something. He posts, they all are celebrating. And I'm like, bro, I'm like, y'all didn't say anything when he didn't post. But when he does post, now you wanna like, oh my god, bro. But I was happy overall. It was just like it was just like, bro, like it just frustrated me also. Just like, yo, like y'all are saying you're fans, but you're quick to cover the India, it's trending in India, other, you know, other things he's posted and all that. But when it came to this, nobody wanted to like celebrate. Oh my god, ZSJL is on Netflix and it's trending in the top 10 in 21 countries. Some pesky supporters conveniently cropped out the Netflix logo along with Zack Snyder's name on it.
What a shocker.
But that's the thing. They could do that, but you could just go ahead and post the actual picture, screenshot the actual screenshot. Because I have my own screenshot from my own Instagram of this post. And you can send it right to them. So they can try to crop it out all they want, but you can't deny this. You can't. And if you're somebody who supports Paramount and you're conveniently cropping out the Netflix logo and all that and Zack Snyder's name to make it look like, oh yeah, it's no, bro, you're not a real fan because you're as like I said in my space, you're just doing this out of pettiness and bitterness and not out of you being a true friend, true fan and celebrating this.
Yes.
Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. You're right. You're 100% right. I mean, like again, I covered this with Curly Ray on Sunday because this was big news. This was worth talking about. But the fact that to me, it's on a whole nother level now that Zack Snyder posts this. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. People should have celebrated before this post, but now that this post is out, I mean, this is really exciting. Because first of all, there's a lot of rumors about like Zack and Netflix having this strained relationship. Zack posting this right now, really? I mean, okay, again, you're Netflix. You have this movie that does well on your platform. It's now acknowledged by Zachary Edward Snyder himself. And here's kind of a point I want to, I'm thinking about this right now. I'm thinking about this because I want to go back and let's go back to the original Screen Rant article. And I want to just kind of, it may be a point that might seem small, but some of the countries that we see are France, Greece, Norway, Nigeria, South Africa, Sweden, and more. Okay, these are the countries listed in this original article right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's go back to Zack Snyder's post again.
Oh yeah, he added more countries to let you know, like
yeah, because I don't see Denmark in the original article. I don't see Bulgaria in the original article. I don't think I saw Romania.
No, Serbia. I don't think I saw that in there.
No, I think the only African countries I see were Nigeria and South Africa.
I didn't see Kenya. I didn't see Kenya in the article either.
So I mean, now if someone has another article that shares this stuff, hold on, let me go back to this. If someone has another article that shares this stuff, please share it with me. Share it with me. Because here's my question. How did Zack Snyder know? I mean, he doesn't have, just because a movie of his is shown on Netflix, he doesn't have access to all of Netflix's data. So someone had to tell him this. Someone credible enough had to tell him this, that he's posting this on Instagram publicly for everyone to see. Now, who would have told him this? If, let's say, like, who could have possibly told Zack Snyder this? Like that, to the point that he's posting on Instagram these extra countries that you don't even see in the Screen Rant article. Like, who would tell him this? Kozy, like, who do you think would tell him this? Like, who would have actually
it would
told
have
Zack?
to. It would either have to be Ted himself or somebody over at Netflix that's, not Ted. So that's the only that's the only people I could think of, because who else would have the numbers to tell Zack, or not the numbers, the name of the countries that this is trending in to Zack?
Yeah. Yes, and not only that, I'm pretty sure Zack Snyder needed permission. Would need permission from Netflix to share that. Not only did they tell him, he got permission, because, like, if it's not, like, if it's in a public article, yeah, you can share that. It's public information, like, right there. But if it's not public information, he needed permission to share this. And again, if someone has, like, another article that goes in more detail, I didn't see anything. I think Screen Rant was the only article
Screen Rant was the only one I saw in the news tab talking about this, that it was only them. So it had to be somebody at Netflix to tell him the other countries, or all the countries, that he didn't put in here. Like where it's trending at. So yeah.
And I just want to say real quick, though, when I say show me an article from before this post came out. Don't show me an article that came after this post, because I'm sure there's articles now that say these other countries, now that Zack Snyder himself posted it. Yeah. But I mean before the post, just because I know there's going to be some smart owl who sends me a Deadline article that came the day after this. But, like, this is just huge, because for Cell, this is huge, because we keep arguing, we keep saying why we give our engagement to Netflix. This is why. Because not only did it do well on Netflix was proud of it. They didn't hide it. Like, it wasn't like HBO Max where they hid it. Like, Warner Brothers hid it on their platform. They didn't want to share the numbers, because if it did poorly, they would have jumped at it. Netflix was proud of it. Netflix embraced it. And even after the deal with Warner Brothers fell through, even after Rebel Moon has been canceled, which I'm putting in air quotes, by the way, so someone doesn't go, see, that damn said Rebel Moon was canceled. The fact that you see it right now on here.
That comment there.
This is why. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
This right here. We've been saying. I'm gonna let Batman continue what he's saying before I go off, because yeah.
But yes, right here. This is exactly why we fight for Cell, and this is exactly why, because again, if Netflix, because whether it be them buying Warner Brothers after the deal falls through, or after, let's be honest, Paramount's going to have to license IP because they're going to be in mountains of debt, if we're being honest here.
Yeah.
This is data that Netflix needs. If they see that, if they see a movie that did, a 5-year-old movie did so well on their platform, you don't think they're going to want to capitalize off that? And a reminder, they did want the Snyder Cut. They did try to get the Snyder Cut, as a reminder. So, like, before HBO Max, they wanted it before Warner Brothers said no for HBO Max. But, yep, I agree. And for those who don't know, these were the options presented on my birthday stream. But I agree, because obviously if this goes through, option 3 is impossible, because Netflix won't be getting Warner Brothers. And so between Paramount doing it themselves or licensing off to Netflix, absolutely. They're going to want to capitalize on this. Absolutely. They're going to 100% do that. And heck, who knows? If they get the licensing rights and they get Lionsgate, maybe they can have Lionsgate distribute it theatrically. So who knows? I mean, that's a possibility too. But
all I'm gonna say is, well, I have more. It's not gonna all I'm gonna say, but there's an important thing I want to say is, like, to all the people in the back, you might want to listen to this. They've been wanting to put money into this. They've been wanted this. Sky said it. Leon said it. The Syndicate has said it. I've said it. Pretty sure I don't know too much, but I'm pretty sure Batman, you said it before that they want Zack Snyder's universe to be finished, or they want to help make more of this stuff so they can, give Zack what he needs. Like, dog, like, we've been saying they wanted to do this. Nobody wants to listen. Through Full Circle should have been enough to show you they wanted to do this. But through Full Circle, asked Mike and Pam if they could show the Snyder Cut in theaters for fans. Both versions, by the way. Boom. That's one example. The Rebel Moon thing where they wanted to do their own Snyder Cut thing with Rebel Moon. That's a sign. The WB merger, Netflix WB merger ad, where y'all try to say it was AI, but then want to ignore the video portion that has the clip of that image that was in that poster that y'all tried to say was AI, and it says value for the investors on it. And on the poster, it was WB Netflix logo on top of on that image of Cyborg, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman, and it says the next. So that was another sign. This right here is the biggest sign. They put it on their platform. They agreed to put it on their platform in 21 countries. It is trending. So we've been right. Sky. So they made the two hashtags. Hashtag ZSJL on Netflix. That's already a check. All we need is hashtag SnyderVerse on Netflix to be checked off, because you can't deny this, because like I said in my space, y'all are gonna go and use this as an argument, and I'm not saying it's not a valid argument, but what I'm saying is, for the people who are shitting on Netflix and you're turning around praising Paramount or wanting Paramount to get it, and you're shitting on Netflix, and Netflix is doing stuff like this, giving you ammo to be like, no, ZSJL is actually a popular movie, a popular comic book movie that a lot of people love. If not love, at least liked. No, where's the proof? Oh, HBO, Samba TV, they don't really give you the good numbers like that. Here you go. So now you have to use this. Just like how y'all were using Ted Sarando's quote of, oh, Superman underperformed as an argument against people, against haters and all that. There you go. My thing is, don't go around using this, then shitting on Netflix, and then want to keep using this new talking point now. No, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Especially since Zack posted this. How I was talking to somebody recently, and they were telling me, yo, how does it look on Zack if your fans are shitting on Netflix, mind you, who brought him into Netflix, treated him right, greenlit his sci-fi space opera Rebel Moon, greenlit Army Today, greenlit Twilight the Gods, and they did this. And before I even say that, through a full circle event celebrating him and his movies and his fans, allowing his fans to see ZSJL in theaters. ZSJL, Justice is Gray. They allowed them to see all his other movies in that theater. And then they did something like this, put ZSJL on Netflix. You can cry, you can be mad, you can yell, be angry, but this is a real thing. This actually happened, and you can't deny it. So that's really all I want to say on that. Just because, yeah.
Yeah, I put myself on mute because I knew you were about to cook and I wanted to see you cook uninterrupted. But yes, I agree with everything you're saying. This is the ultimate proof that we need right now. Because yeah, you got the value for investors with Aquaman, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman. And I mean, because like it's what I've even said. Like people want to say that we lost, like Cell was dead after Paramount got Warner Brothers. But the one thing you can't take away from us, Netflix, like at the end of the day, we started out as a licensing deal, and we said that Netflix was interested in the SnyderVerse. They already said they were interested in the SnyderVerse, and whatever happens with this Paramount deal, you will never take that away from us. Because we said, license it off to Netflix. Them buying Warner Brothers was an expected bonus, was a step above. But we still were set on licensing. That's why the original Cell hashtags are back right now. I mean, I'm putting the ZSJL on Netflix, SnyderVerse on Netflix for this stream because this feels more appropriate for this stream. But yeah. Like they showed interest in this, and now this right here shows that they are still interested. Because you think that they're less interested after this happened? No, they're more interested, and it's what I talk about with consolation prizes, like how I think that David Ellison at the very least would take what would be Discovery Global Partners if the FTC or a state attorneys block this deal, because that's still something. And I think with Netflix, it's the same thing. Yes, they wanted Warner Brothers, but if they could still get the licensing rights to finish out the SnyderVerse, then they absolutely could do that. In fact, I mean, honestly, with Paramount, let's say the rumors are true. Like, there's so many different rumors about Paramount. But let's say Paramount wants to do their own thing. Let's say they want to do their own thing. They don't want to go with Gunny Poo. They want to do their own thing. They might decide, hey, we want to build our plan together. So why don't we let Zack finish his story, get some money to pay down the debt, and in the meantime, won't we truly take the time to develop our plan? Because they need to develop their plan, actually. Like, maybe even, maybe not even do DC Studios for a while. Maybe give DC Studios a bit of a break, or while they look for new management, bring some hype for the DC brand, pay down the debt, and then finish the SnyderVerse. Because let's be honest, if you finish the SnyderVerse properly, fans will be a lot more receptive to anything you do with your platform. Like I've said, like, if they finished the SnyderVerse and did a reboot after and properly finished it, not do some half-ass thing, but properly finish it, I would support this reboot. Like, I would have, I don't know. I mean, Gunny Poo did a lot of other stuff that pissed me off besides just ending the SnyderVerse, but I probably would have been a lot more open to supporting his universe if part one of the slate was closing off the past, was getting that Man of Steel 2, the Batfleck movie, ZSJL 2 and 3. Now, I want to pull up Frank C's comment here. I agree. I think it would be easier to get the Batfleck movie because of Ben's production company already with Netflix. And I think about this too. Zack Snyder's going to be busy with other projects. While we would accept another director for the Batfleck movie, a lot of fans would be less accepting of another director for ZSJL 2 and 3. This is the perfect time to do the Batfleck movie. Because let's be honest, who knows what's happening with that Batman movie in the DCU? I mean, that's in such limbo right now. And I guess Matt Reeves' film is finally filming right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still think they could get away with doing the Batfleck movie, depending on how this goes. I mean, this is like perfect. Get this one out. You don't need as much of the cast. Get this one out, and then do ZSJL 2 and 3. I mean, I've theorized this because most of what Zack is posting is Superman and Batman. So to me, that means Batfleck movie and Man of Steel 2. So there's a lot. I mean, look, there's a lot of this Paramount buying Warner Brothers was definitely. Oh, yep. Remember, they did show it in a Netflix theater and Zack's preferred edition in black and white. But we were all upset when Paramount got Warner Brothers, and we don't know what's going to happen with that, right? I mean, they could get Warner Brothers. It actually could happen, or they might be up for sale. it might be up. Warner Bros. Might be up for sale again, and maybe Netflix will get Lionsgate, and it'll be too late for them to go after Warner Bros. Who knows what's going to happen with that? But the one thing that we definitely have is licensing, and this is proof of that. I mean, here's the thing. I agree. I would prefer Ben Affleck to direct it too, but I think I remember what Mikey Sutton said, that Ben Affleck wants to do the Batfleck movie still, but he doesn't want to direct it. I remember him saying that. I mean, maybe it's changed, but I don't know. But I mean, Ben Affleck has some of his directors he likes to work with besides Zack Snyder. Heck, maybe David Ayer could do it. I mean, Andy Muschietti is directing Brave and the Bold as it stands right now. I mean, who knows if that's still happening, but as it stands right now, he's still directing it. But I don't know. I liked his directing of Batman. I mean, I understand people's issues with the Flash movie, but I don't think Andy Muschietti directing Batman was that. But I don't know. I mean, I guess, what do you think about Frank C's comment?
I agree with Frank C. I would even add on to his comment of Netflix would have just been easier transition. Like, look at Paramount. Like, for the people who don't side with Netflix, and I'm not saying you have to, whatever. I'm just saying if you're siding with Paramount or you're just against Netflix, I want to put in perspective like this. Look at Paramount. Not only just the lawsuits and all that, but the debt they're going to have to carve out. We're not going to get these movies as early as we think, because they're going to have to carve out shit and reassess and get themselves back into I guess, working conditions where they're not losing as much money. Whereas Netflix literally would have been a smooth transition. There might have been, probably a couple stops here and there, but it would have been essentially a smooth transition. Except for Ezra Miller, all of the Justice League members are at Netflix doing projects for Netflix. Like Frank C. said, Ben Affleck's production company has a deal with Netflix. Zack Snyder has done projects for Netflix. Everything is literally set up. Like, it's literally an alley-oop waiting to be... alley-oop ready to be slam dunked into the basket. That's literally all. Like, that's how I can literally metaphorically put that. Everything is lined up for the SnyderVerse to return over at Netflix. Whereas Paramount, like I said, they have not shown me any good faith, good sign, or any signs of good faith that we could get the SnyderVerse back or whatever. Hey, Zack's back to do his Justice League movies. There's nothing so far. So I just want to put it out there. People are going up on, the Saudis going to do this, and they fuck with Zack, and they like his DC movies. So when this and this happen, they're going to come through. Hey, man, that's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts. Whereas Netflix, they're literally showing you fact after hard fact after hard fact after hard fact of they want to do this, and everything's lined up. So, yeah.
Yes, and to add too, Henry Cavill is going to be in Enola Holmes 3, and even with Ezra Miller, I know it's not official yet, but Mikey Sutton scooped that he was going to be in Rebel Moon or one of Zack Snyder's other Netflix projects. So,
also,
yeah,
Henry Cavill is about to be in a movie with Kevin Hart, made or produced or for Netflix, or say not produced, but for Netflix. Oh yeah. That's
absolutely. And that's where I think we could have gotten Matt Damon as Two-Face. But this kind of brings into, I think you kind of transitioned us perfectly to the final topic is that Snyder fans missed out. So I want to explain why I'm saying this is bittersweet news. Now, really, this is good news, right? There is no way this is really bad news other than reminding us what we lost. Because, yes, I know I said they can still license it. Absolutely. But I think you said it perfectly. this would have been a smoother transition because this is just another reminder of what we lost. I mean, again, I understand there's some people who are maybe going with Paramount because that's where we're at right now, and we're going with what we can control, right? I understand that logic. My issue, though, is when I'm seeing people acting like Paramount was the better deal, or when Netflix was getting it, hoping that Paramount was going to get it for the sake of the Snyderverse. That's what gets me, because I'm just going to show this one more time just to make the point. You have this right here. Okay, we don't have any data for Paramount right now. This just shows exactly why we missed out. And why is this not okay? StreamYard was being a little slow to do the two screens. But anyways, we missed out on the fact that now, instead of Netflix getting Warner Brothers and then being able to do whatever they want because they own the IP outright, they don't have to get any licensing deals or about what they can and can't do. We have to hope, again, the only thing we can do right now is hope that this Paramount deal fails, but still give Netflix the engagement, because again, we have to play the hands we're dealt, not the hands we wish we were dealt. And our best bet right now is, I always kind of say it like this: give Netflix all the engagement. I would say prepare for Paramount getting Warner Brothers, and then capitalizing on the fact that Paramount's going to be in debt, like how Cell started originally with Warner Brothers Discovery being in debt. Paramount's going to be in a bigger debt right now, and may or may not want to move forward with Gunning Poo's universe, and is going to want to reboot, but we'll need time to formulate their plan together, and we'll sell ZSJL 2 and 3. I mean, and even that's like even that's a wish, honestly, but that's still less of a stretch than some of the other stuff that we're seeing right now. Like, this is, and then hope that the Paramount deal fails and that Netflix gets Warner Brothers, and then we're back to where we were in December and January. So this is why I say it's bittersweet news. Not because it's necessarily bad news at all, but more because it just reminds us of what we lost. And that's why there was some kind of anguish I felt when I saw it. Not because I wasn't happy for the Cell campaign, but because it just reminded us of what we lost. And I mean, again, I know I've said, and just remember, Sin Havoc, you told us not to worry about Paramount, as I tease you lovingly. You said, don't worry about Paramounts, but yes, this just shows us right there what we lost and what we have to hope for. I mean, like I said, if you're talking about hope, I hope that tomorrow California and New York are like, give David Ellison the biggest lawsuit, to the point that David Ellison says, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't have the money, and I want to get Warner. I want to get something right now. So you know what? Like, that David Ellison calls Ted Sarandos, and they work out a deal for them to purchase Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers Discovery, different parts of it. Be like, look, I'm not going to be able to get all this. You take this, this, and this. You take this, this, and this. Like, I'll take this and this and this. You take this, this, and this. And get a whole new deal. That's what I hope will happen. Do I think that's going to happen? No. And do I think it's at all likely to happen tomorrow? Definitely not. But I mean, no. I mean, I'm not talking about this. Don't worry. You don't worry about what you can't control. I don't mean it like that, Sin Havoc. But don't worry. Be happy. Oh, that song. Yeah. But I mean, I'm Kozy. You go. You go. Your thoughts on what I just said.
I mean, yeah, man, like, I just, like, I'm what Jamar is feeling with that comment of Pesky don't give me confidence, especially them promoting Super L and Supergirl. Like I said in my rant earlier, Paramount has not shown me any signs of good faith. We're going off of a wish and a hope and dreams and all that, and they haven't shown me a single sign. They played Supergirl at a UFC event. No mentions of brawlers. Not saying that would be a good time, wouldn't be a good time, but brawlers would be a better thing to bring up than playing Supergirl. Like I said, Netflix
Yeah.
is literally lined up with the actors we love that played these characters in this universe that we are fighting for. Zack is still in good relationship with Netflix and has done many projects for Netflix. It doesn't make sense not to. I don't know. It doesn't make sense not to make some noise for that, especially when Netflix listens to their customers, their fans. Um, I I feel like they would have gave us, or not even feel like I think I know that Netflix would have given us more than what we're just asking for. Oh, I want the Batfleck movie. I want Man of Steel 2, Just League 2 and 3. Like they probably would have been like, all right, Zach, I know you want to complete your whole story arc. What we want more of this. Obviously, we know there's an end goal for you, but what else can we finance? And it might not necessarily be Zach, but somebody he played as producer or played as or executive producer or whatever for the other movies in DCU. Not all of them, but the main core ones that we all know he helped out on. I guarantee you they would have given them money for shows, money for more movies. Could get a Cyborg movie, could get a better traditional Flash movie, a proper Wonder Woman sequel. Like there's so many. Like I said, Netflix is looking for their big superhero IP. They get WB, they would get DC. DC would be their big thing. Now, they would invest heavily into that. Now, and they would be able to invest heavily because they would also not only get the studio, but be able to invest in this thing like they invested in Stranger Things and their other big IPs like Wednesday and all that. They would invest even more in this, and they're going to get a better output just because of how they do their red carpet events, how they do fan events. They have Geek Week. They have the Tadum, Tadum event and all that. So like, there's many things they can really, and then they can really tap into for this, where they can really market this how they want to. And it's not to say it's going to take a lot for them to market because it's Zack Snyder, Henry Cavill as Superman, Ben Affleck as it's not going to take much, but just enough for them to finance the marketing and all that is going to be bigger than anything. So they know what they could get out of this if they get this. They know what they want to get out of this. Whereas Paramount, I don't even know what they actually want, like other than CNN. But with the movie aspect and everything and TV shows, I don't know what they want with this, and it's like if they do license or they actually do the universe, I feel like we're not going to get a lot out of it. I feel like just like here's money to finish Just League 2 and 3, maybe a Batfleck movie, maybe a Man of Steel 2, and that's it. Which I'm not complaining. If we get that, all that, cool. But we're not thinking bigger. That's all I'm saying. Think bigger. Netflix finance, and we can get what we actually imagine. That I don't know if everybody remembers that original slate they had a showing of like, this is the movies we want to put out that leads up to Justice League Part 1, and then the more projects after that, and then it'll lead up to Justice League Part 2. Now imagine, of course they would rework it, but imagine we get those or even better projects in between. Just saying.
You're right. You're right though. You're absolutely right. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten to the point where honestly, if we just get the Batfleck movie and ZSJL 2 and 3, I'm happy. And honestly, I'm even only putting the Batfleck movie in there is because that scene with ZSJL with Lex Luthor and Destro, because that's the only thing needed for perfect story completion. But I still want that Man of Steel 2. I still want that other stuff. I mean, well, especially because here's the thing with Netflix taking over. I think it was something Nadar of Misfits said on Sky's channel, is that because it's coming out all these years later, they don't have to necessarily go with the DCEU. They can just do the Snyderverse. Like, they can do their own universe with only Man of Steel, Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Maybe even the Emerald Edition. That's the only canon, and everything else is that's the only continuity that matters for these new movies right there. So we could get the Cyborg movie, the Batflick movie, Man of Steel 2. We could essentially get maybe like the Wonder Woman movie with like the original third act. We could have maybe even get like the Flash movie with the Andy Muschietti cut. Maybe the one that doesn't have Gunny Poo's notes. And and this would be greedy, but even refilming Henry Allen's scenes with Billy Crudup to keep that continuity. In fact,
Yeah.
a little side tangent. I've even had a theory about how they wouldn't even have to refilm all of Henry Allen's scenes with Billy Crudup. All you would need to do, put Billy Crudup in the main timeline, put him at the end, and then in the new timeline, when you see Ron Livingston, just add a little additional shot with Ezra Miller where he goes, "Dad," as a way to kind of, a way to not have to refilm everything and not put Ron Livingston out of the movie.
Yeah, the fix, yeah. And then this is where it comes in for everybody else. All the people who's fighting for the Schumacher cut, they would be able to release it for you, give the extra money, which is not going to be a lot to Netflix. Oh, you just need a million or a couple million to fix up whatever needs to be fixed up, and we put it out. Boom. The people fighting for the air cut, literally, they could just fix up what they need to fix up, put it out. And that goes to Bat Dan's point of it gives time before, Zack's able and finished with all of his projects and all that, and able to come back to his universe. Batman's already out. All these other movies that have these director cuts are out, and people are watching it like they're fresh new movies. Boom. That's the in-between waiting time until, whatever the, Man of Steel 2 or whatever comes out, and boom, now we're on the course of we're on our way to the Justice League 3 and whatever else. So, but people are thinking small, and then not even just thinking small, they're not even, I feel like, and not to be rude, but not thinking at all, because it's like I said, how are you looking at Paramount and having all this hope and faith in them when they showed you no signs, and then Netflix is giving you all the signs? It's almost like, to kind of put it in, this is how I'm in the rant, but I kind of want to put it like Paramount is like the boyfriend that verbally abuses you or whatever. Not saying Paramount does this, but to give you the example of Paramount doesn't treat you right, and you're sitting there like, oh no, Paramount's going to change, or Paramount's going to give me what I want, and the guy who treats you right and gives you what you want, you're hating on him and don't want anything to do with him, to kind of give you, or for the guy's perspective, they're two girls, so give you an idea of like you're going with the option that you're hoping this person or this studio gives you what you want, whereas the other one's literally showing you, hey, we want to put money into this and give y'all what you want. So yeah.
You're right. You're exactly right, Kozy. Everything you said is on point. Netflix listens to fans, and I love that you said the air cut, because I say the air cut's biggest advantage right now is that it's part of the Snyderverse. Because remember, when the additional photography of Justice League was filmed, Zack Snyder's Justice League was filmed, at that point, nothing else was canon except Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition. Nothing else was canon in that. It's not like when they used Connie Nelson, where at the time of that filming, Wonder Woman was canon. Nothing else was canon. So, but Zack still chose to use Jared Leto. So he still chose to use Jared Leto as the Joker. And that connection to the Snyderverse would be the biggest appeal for the air cut. And now Margot Robbie, let's be honest, her popularity is probably not as big as it was with Barbie. Like, she had all this power when Barbie came out, but now not as much. So she might not have as much pull to stop the air cut from being released. But I want to go with Frank C's comment right here, because I love that he mentioned the Mummy film, because the Mummy film in a way is going to be a reboot. The kind of reboot it's going to be is a requel. Which, Kozy, do you know what a requel is?
Yeah, it's not like a sequel. it's not like like instead of it like being a movie that's a reboot, it's a sequel that adds on, but it changes continuity or it adds on or whatever, right?
Basically, it's a reboot, but it only reboots the sequels. It doesn't reboot the originals. It's essentially like an alternate sequel,
Okay.
like the new Halloween movies. How basically it's the first movie is still canon to it, but the movies after it are not. With this new Mummy movie, 1 and 2 will be canon, but 3 will not be canon. So in a way, this Mummy is a reboot. It's a requel, but it's not. It's just decanonizing 3, and that's essentially what the Snyderverse could be on Justice League with
I'm not gonna lie.
with DC.
I think people give Mummy 3 too much hate. That's just my opinion, though. I love 1 and 2, and I give it its credit, but I feel like people hate on 3 too much.
I think they're also just doing it. They're making it non-canon just because of with the recasting they did with
Mhm.
it. Because they're bringing.
No, and I understand that. I'm just saying, like, people. I've heard people hate on 3, and I'm like, y'all are. I'm not gonna lie, y'all are bugging hating on 3 like that, but
Yeah. I haven't seen 3 yet, but I've seen 1 and 2. And I will say with Barbie, like, yeah, I think the thing with Barbie is that it was popular for its time, but like a lot of movies, they do well when they come out, but it just it was a fad. Basically, the Barbie fad is done right now. There's no more fad. No one cares about Barbie. I mean, some people still will talk about it, but again, it's just a movie that did its thing, did really well. Didn't do that well for Warner Brothers because of all the profit sharing with Mattel,
and
but you know,
superheroes are still big. Like I know we're in a state of, people are getting tired because of like the low quality bad storytelling with certain superhero films, but superhero is still a big thing where it's like, all it takes is like one or a couple good films that you're in and you're, back on top. So like for her coming back as Harley Quinn for whatever the story they're gonna, they would tell with her, would bring her back up. So like that's what helped her even boost up to the level she's at anyway. So
thank you. She owes David Ayer a lot. I'm just saying. And the thing is, she won't even need to come back for this. It's already filmed. She doesn't have to she could literally, if she doesn't want to work with Jared Leto again, you don't have to. You don't have to be in the same room with him ever again. Just let this come out, get your paycheck, get your name in the spotlight, and and maybe you can get enough hype for Barbie too. But I want to say, talk about this here. Like money talks. Like that's what I think could happen. Like as much as we missed out, I still think this too. Think about this. Like, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on rambling, but if let's say Paramount gets Warner Brothers, let's go with this scenario, and Netflix gets Lionsgate, they could still pay Paramount massive debt, help pay off Paramount's debt, get the rights for, like, especially if they don't do anything with DC for a while, they could get the rights to do Man of Steel 2, the Batfleck movie, ZSJL 2 and 3, release those on Lionsgate, and just maybe make a deal saying, okay, you just can't release it around a time that we're releasing a movie. Because, I mean, let's be honest, 30 movies isn't going to happen. But let's, maybe release.
Telling people that they don't want to listen.
Maybe, maybe you can release it in one of our crappy AI movies that's not going to do well. But you can't release it during our big blockbusters.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell everybody this. This is how it's gonna go down. Once people figure out whatever movie they release that has AI in it, I'm telling you, people are gonna boycott, and it's just gonna ruin the other films that is not made with AI. People aren't gonna care because it's like, oh, you went out and made an AI film, or made a film and you put filled in AI all up in it. So like I don't know if people don't remember the whole AMC AI commercial thing and how that was like that. I'm not saying could have ruined their business, but if they kept it in there, it would have ruined their theater, and they took it out. So I don't know if trying to slide out a AI film, even if it's full AI and it's some bullshit or whatever. It's not going to look good for Paramount's PR. So I'm just saying, for their sake, I wouldn't even attempt to put AI in a film or put majority in it, because you're trying to fulfill this 30 movies a year, which who the fuck is agreeing? What studio is agreeing to that? Per year, you couldn't even fulfill your, what was it, 15? Was it 15 they promised?
I think 15, because Paramount was going to, like, with this 30 deal, Paramount would do 15 and Warner Brothers would do 15. So before they get Warner Brothers, Paramount has to do their 15 before.
They couldn't even fulfill that. How are you gonna? Bad Dan. If you had to sell 15, like, let's just like chocolate bars, right? And you could only get like 3 off, but you go back to, like, let's just say like this is high school, whatever, where you're selling out chocolate bars for fundraiser. You go back and, like, yeah, no, this time I got 30. I could sell you 30. You couldn't even sell the 15. You sold 3. How are you going to sell 30? How are you going to put out 30 films and make it sell?
Yeah, no, I agree. If you can't do 15, you can't do 30. Like, again, if you can't sell 15 chocolate bars, I don't trust you selling 30 next year. And TJ, I just want to clarify this point. The only project we really need Harley Quinn in my honest opinion, is the air cut. And she's already filmed. Like, this is already filmed. I mean, let's be honest. It'd be a lot harder to do it with another actress, because then you have to refilm. And the whole point of the air cut, it's already released. So that's the only time we need her. So let's.
And the air cut would be considered, by the time the air cut comes out, it would be considered canon to the SnyderVerse. So, like, doing that, it's already going to be like, oh, they went. And here's the thing. Regardless of how people might feel about her in here, there are still people, regular general audience members, that like her as Harley, and they're going to be questioning where she's at. Why did they recast her? It's almost, I'll put it in this scenario. It's like what happened with Transformers Dark of the Moon. People were asking what happened to Megan Fox. Why is Megan Fox not Michaela in here? That's what's going to happen with that. So I now if she decides not to come back, then it's like, all right, then, there's nothing you can really do about that. But
just write the character out. She's not a she's not a recast character. She's just get rid of the character. Like I say with recasting, there's certain characters, if you can't have them, recast them if they're essential to the story. If you But there's other characters like Harley Quinn where don't give us that continuity air of a recast if the characters, she's not needed for the story. I mean, to be honest, at most, I would say showing her die where Joker kills her. But let's be honest, even technically speaking, that timeline is an altered timeline. So we don't necessarily know when Joker kills her. Like people were saying, oh, the Snyder confirmed that Harley Quinn's killed off. Well, no, that's an altered timeline. For all we know, Joker kills her right at the start of this apocalypse of that timeline that's going to get reversed. So I don't count that so much. I mean, like a permanent death like Dick Grayson's death. But yeah, I mean, I kind of changed this topic a little bit to hope, because I still think there is hope with this, because regardless of how Netflix was the better alternative, getting Warner Brothers as a whole, there's so many possibilities. Like if Netflix gets Lionsgate, Paramount's going to be in debt. Netflix will still have a theatrical arm to release these movies. And my theory, too, with ZSJL 2 and 3, I mean, again, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. a little bit. There's a lot of things that need to happen, but maybe it could be like kind of a Rebel Moon situation where you get a PG-13 cuts in theaters, and then we get the R-rated 4-hour cuts on Netflix, because it's like this dilemma. Like, it's weird to make ZSJL shorter than 4 hours or ZSJL 2 and 3 shorter than 4 hours because the first one was 4 hours. And I don't mean like slightly shorter than 4 hours. I mean significantly shorter than 4 hours. But at the same time, you can't put a 4-hour movie in theaters. That's just not like mainstream. But if you do PG-13 cuts and then director's cuts that are R-rated, you can make that 4 hours.
I'm not against that, but the original idea was that Just League was going to be a two-parter just because of how long the movie was. WB on their end didn't go with that, so I can see, I don't know, some better deal of like Netflix. Like, and I'm not saying they wouldn't do a director's cut on their platform, PG-13 in theaters, but I don't know. Like, and I'm saying this as somebody who wants to see the Snyder cut in theaters. I don't know. Like, I can see them being like, hey, can you push it to like 340? So like 3 hours and 40 or something like that. I don't know about 4 hours, but I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, how many director's cuts do I gotta like there's director's cuts used to be like, obviously, if something didn't make it in the original and it was like a fun idea or whatever, they kept it in the director's cuts. I don't know if I want all his DC or all DC or whatever in these director's cuts, and it's like, damn, I wish I watched this in theaters instead of, or I wish they kept that in the cut that they put in theaters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. It's like,
I mean, it would be like a Rebel Moon situation where Zack Snyder would work with Netflix. I mean, I get what you're saying. I do. I'm just, and this is part of like OC. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Part of this is like my OCD with this, like, because like it's like 4 hours. It's like I need like a cut that's 4 hours, but I'm also being realistic that that ZSJL 2 and 3 cannot be 4 hours in theaters. I mean, maybe, and personally, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we need the Snyder cut to be more than 4 hours because I'm thinking about the general audience. But okay. I'm going to kind of stop it right here because we're getting way too ahead of ourselves. I know it's fun to do, but I think, first things first, let's just hope that Netflix gets the rights to do the SnyderVerse, even if it's more than ZSJL 2 and 3. Like, let's hope that they can. Let's hope with this situation that whether it be Warner Brothers, Paramount not getting Warner Brothers, or Paramount getting Warner Brothers and having no choice but to license out to pay off their massive debt. Because, again, I'm just going to make sure I'm going to show this one more time. This right here. Okay? I mean,
I'll say this in.
I know.
I'm not against long movies. I'm saying this as somebody who don't want to hear a general audience cry about, oh man, this movie is 4 hours. I will sit through, if a movie is 6 hours, I will sit through, if the movie's good and entertaining like ZSJL, I'm sitting through the 6 hours. I've even had the discussions with people of like, I don't know why WB didn't just go and try to do the trend of being the first people to do intermissions like they do with plays. I don't know why they don't do intermissions with movies. Like, you're doing 4 hours, all right, first 2 hours play it through, intermission, 5-10 minute intermission, go pee, get new popcorn, stretch your legs, whatever, come back, finish up the other 2 hours done. But that's, I know a lot of people, I get people don't want to be in a theater that long. I'm a cinephile, so I have no problem. The theater is like my second home, so I have no problem sitting in there and enjoying it. But yeah,
Sin Havoc, I agree, but I'm talking about like the world that we're in, not what the world we should be in. That's all I'm saying. And I also want to make it clear, I would like, when we get this with Netflix, if or when we get this with Netflix, I will support what we do as long as Zack is happy. I do want to make that clear, even if it goes against my OCD a little bit. But I think, I don't want to get too much more into all these, like, because I think we need to kind of focus right now on this happening at all before we get too far into this. At the end of the day, this picture shows that we missed out on losing with Paramount. That's at the end of the day. That's what I want to get with, because this shows right here that Netflix would have been all in, and we don't know what Paramount's going to do. Yes, we could get ZSJL 2 and 3, but I'm just saying, without that Batfleck movie, that story is not perfectly complete. And Henry Cavill really wanted to do that Man of Steel too. So I still think there's hope, whether it be from the birthday stream with option 2, with Netflix or Paramount licensing it off to Netflix, or option 3, which is Paramount attorney generals are like, Paramount, no, and Netflix gets it. I just don't think option 1 with Paramount actually giving us the Snyderverse. But I just don't, but themselves, I just don't see that one happening. But again, the picture is bittersweet news in the sense that we missed out, but overall, it is good news. Overall, it is really good news. It shows Netflix is interested, shows Netflix and Zack Snyder have a good relationship, and I think this should, I mean, as disappointing as it is to remind us what we lost, I think it shows a lot of gain that we have with this. So, anything else you want to say to this, Kozy?
Or you do what Marvel did with Endgame. Yeah, I will. But the thing is, he has Justice League 2 and 3. So we don't even know how long 2 and 3 is. But that's still a great point for AC. So if I don't think I have anything else to say to this. I think I've said majority of what I wanted. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I mean, as disappointing as much as a reminder as it is what we lost, there's so much we can gain from this too. There's so much we can do. So at the end of the day, we need to still fight. I still, again, I brought like these hashtags, the ZSJL on Netflix, SnyderVerse on Netflix, because we're celebrating the fact that it's on Netflix right now, even if it's not in North America on Netflix. It's
still on Netflix.
global.
It's still, it's still a step closer than anything else. So
we're a globe. We're not just one country. We are a world. So a reminder of that. We got to keep fighting, and hope we can hope that this merger gets blocked, because I have bigger concerns than just the Snyderverse.
same.
But hey, if Paramount does it, I will be celebrating. Unless the cost of other stuff, then we'll worry about that if that happens. But if I'm wrong about Paramount, I will be celebrating. Okay, just want to make that out there. But all we can do is hope. And thank you, Kozy, for coming on. This was a really great discussion. A whole discussion about mainly just the Instagram post about. I just want to show it up. I just want to show it off this one more time, because this is really great, showing this off. And you know what? I just feel like leaving this up there for the end of the stream. So, Kozy, what do you have coming up on your channel?
So my YouTube channel, Kozy's World, Kozy'S WORLD. I said it before, say it again. I react stuff, trailers, YouTube videos. I've done like reaction to like somebody, critiquing BVS. I reacted to other people praising the SnyderVerse. I've reacted to music videos, albums, and all that. So done that in video games. So recently I put up a Baldur's Gate 3 episode 1 on the channel. Make sure to go check that out if you really like Baldur's Gate, or if you just you're interested, go ahead, you'll poke your head over at my YouTube channel, check it out. After I get off the stream, I'm gonna edit a thumbnail and upload the Spider-Man trailer that released today. I recorded my reaction to that. I recorded my reaction for Whalefall. So basically to say, there's some reactions to trailers coming. Either one's coming today or 2 might come today, but definitely one's coming today, and then probably tomorrow a couple more trailers that I reacted to, just needed editing, is coming. I have a Twitch channel. I stream over at Twitch. I'm pretty soon going to start doing dual streaming, so streaming on Twitch and YouTube. But the Twitch channel is twitch.tv/KozyBoyKam, KozyBoykam. I stream over there. We just do a lot of cool stuff. We vibe out. We listen to music, chop it up, rant a little bit, react to videos, play video games. We do a whole lot over there. And I am the co-host of Lethal Geeks. We did a stream like a couple weeks ago on Saturday. Go check that out if you haven't watched it. Pretty sure the people in the chat have seen it, but if you're watching this on Replay Crew, shout out to Replay Crew. Yeah, man, we did stream, talked about like some of the stuff, not stuff we like obviously today, but like the whole Paramount Netflix stuff, what Netflix going on. Go check that out. I have I don't know if they uploaded the video yet, but there's a new video coming to the channel too soon. I'm doing one shots, so breaking down news like this and all that. So that's gonna be over there, and be reviewing movies and all that. So that's what we got over at the Lethal Geeks. So make sure to subscribe over there and hit the notification bell to be notified when we post. And my Twitter, I be doing Twitter Spaces. So KozyBoyKam, same as the Twitch username. Go over there. I be doing Spaces. Follow. Be on the lookout when I go live and put a notification out on the timeline when I go live on Twitter Spaces. And that's pretty much it. I guess I'll say thank you, Bat Dan, for having me on like usual, and having fun with these topics and be able to chop it up and talk about these topics and all that. And if you're watching this, man, hit the like button. What are you doing? What are you doing? You watching this and you didn't hit the like button? Right? It's free. It's literally free. You don't got to pay for anything. There's no paywall. There's no subscription. You just hit the like button and you can go on about your day. So hit that like button. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Kozy. Thank you for coming on. Absolutely. It was fun, Kozy. It was really fun having you on. Really fun discussing this. I really love our discussions we have together. And yeah, guys, subscribe. Subscribe to all his channels. I have them in the description.
Subscribe, not only just my channels, but subscribe to this channel too. After you hit, that's free too. Hit the like button and subscribe. But go ahead now. Yeah.
Thank you, Kozy. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So coming up on this channel is, again, as we get new news, I will cover it. Again, I can't predict all the live streams that will happen because I can't predict this news. Like this Zack Snyder post. Couldn't completely predict that. Maybe somewhat could with the Screen Rant article, but the additional stuff could not predict. So new news will come out and I will cover it. And I'm still working. I know I say this a lot. But I am working on that clip about clarifying what Ted Sarandos actually said and what Dan Lin actually said. I mean, you can watch it on the stream right now, but I'm working on the clip because I think it's really important to get out. It was a really long discussion. And I've been really busy. So I am working on it though, guys. Promise you I'm working on it. It may be a two-parter. And I hope to get another Six Flags or another theme park video, but this one about Six Flags Great America. So like I said, I'm trying to get into the theme park conversation too, because I think it's more fun, or I think it's just fun and a lot less drama right now than, well, DC is. So there's a lot of great stuff coming up on this channel. And guys, if you like this stream, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more unique takes, interesting thoughts, and great discussions such as these. This was a really fun stream. I had a really great time, Kozy. And any final words you want to say?
And the great words of Leon the New Geeks, bang.
Have a bat-tastic day.